Hey guys, welcome to another YouTube video. My name is Joe, and in this video I'm going to be walking you guys through the time lapse of how I created this scene right here. For this scene I really wanted to create something that was epic and magnificent, so to speak, quote and unquote, right? So I had a bunch of inspirations. Like, I had a lot of inspirations, and I think I'll paste it somewhere in the screen so that you see what I was working with, right? So right now I'm retexturing. I'm making sure that the building is modded up to the extent that the detail actually come out in the render. I was highly motivated by the quote and unquote failure of my last video. I don't think that render was good enough, so the video performed really poorly, and I really wanted to do something that that looked good generally, and this was my attempt at putting my back in and trying to create something that worked. So right here I'm just extending the building because this building is going to be spammed around the environment to make it look huge. So I wanted to create different versions and just create variations to where the duplication won't be so obvious. So right now I'm applying a noise texture to a factor so that I can mix in a different material into that wall platter. So I was using a noise shader to separate two textures right there. So right here I'm just sculpting the rock. This is a unique rock formation, and of course you will see this in the inspiration tab also that I shared earlier. So right now I'm creating like a scatter object using the geometry node, and I'm using the rocks as an instance on that plane. So these are the rocks that will just form the base of where the building are going to be sitting on. So I wanted to make sure that it looked good, it doesn't look too repetitive. You can see me going back to adjust the sculpt right here. So right now I'm trying to get camera angles, get aspect ratios to look right, and just get the overall feel of what it will look like just based on composition, right? And right here I'm creating a staircase because the staircase is going to lead into the main building itself. So I'm creating a staircase right here. So what I did to that staircase was subdivided it to the extent where I could apply displacement modifier to it and just make it look like, there's a lot going on there, but it's really nothing. So right here, I'm using the ambient occlusion to mix in a green texture into that rock. So the ambient occlusion picks out the edges and just isolate those. If you can't use the ambient occlusion, you can also make use of I think there's a geometry node in the shader setup that would give you access to the pointiness of this thing. Those are other ways to actually access those edges also. You can also use a bevel node also. So those are options. You can as well not do it my way. You can use that method too. So right here I'm just creating some fire objects with those PNG cards. Basically they are normal cards, but in order to knock out that black in the image, you just connect the color to the alpha and you have that. So right here I'm just bringing in some statues. I don't know, in hindsight I don't think I should have used those because it wasn't well detailed and I wasn't skilled at sculpting enough to detail it a bit more. So I really shouldn't have brought the statues. So right here, I'm now creating the entire building formation. So you see me duplicating the building and spamming it around, turning the building in ways that a building shouldn't be turned. And that was just in an effort to create something that wasn't too repetitive. Right here, I'm tweaking the camera angle again and I'm using a wider lens. I think this is a 20mm or at best a 22 mil. So it's really, really wide, and it's not even as wide as I would have wanted it to be. I wanted this to be so much more wide and magnificent, but I think this was also a good spot. So right here, I was imputing some vegetation just to add a bit more life to the scene. It was just a whole lot of architecture and rocks. So I had to bring in a little bit of green. So you see me adding a couple of ivies and trees to the environment. Right here, you will see me adding some cloud cards and just adding depth to the entire scene. And with this, I used an add-on called fog cards. I'll actually locate the add-on and put it in the description on the screen so that you can have access to these things. These things added a whole lot of depth to the scene. You'll see me bringing in the cards. It's called fog planes. It's called fog planes, and it's just an easy way to create an alpha cloud card instead of you going to create it yourself. This add-on just automates the process for you. It just creates the card, and all you have to do is just position it in a way that it creates that depth. So right here I'm bringing in my beloved Volumetrics, and I'm testing a whole lot of lighting. For the lighting, I tried a whole lot of lighting. I tried a flat lighting, but this gave it a whole lot of character. But something I'm bothered about the lighting was that it was taking a whole lot of attention from the building itself. So if I had a chance to relight this, I would art direct it in such a way that they both have equal compensation and they both have equal attention. So right here, this is the final render out of Blender. So I brought down the exposure, added a little bit of vignettes, increased coloration, added character, bumped up clarity in the image, and at some point you see the before and after, and I also share the image and in the last part. So that's about it, guys. So long, and until I see you in the next one, peace.